We got a new state of play from Sony, and Trump hates Tencent. Weird. Also, spoiler alert, Tencent controls way more of the video game industry than you ever realized. Matt, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
From the other side.
In case you're curious.
Sorry.
That's cool.
Doing my Adele impression.
This is the Gamers 2 podcast for, I don't know what the date is.
August 7th.
This is the Gamers 2 podcast
Matt.
for August 7th. I can't read dates. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. I'll tell you what doesn't pique my interest.
That's interesting.
The majority of the news this week, I have no strong feeling towards any of it.
That's been the Gamers 2 podcast for August 7th.
Well, you know, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the week. Maybe I'm just having one of those weeks where I'm just like, blech.
But this week does lend itself for us to have tinfoil hat theories.
It does, which are, you know, that's fun. Tinfoil hat theories are fun.
So if everybody wants to, pause it, take 5 minutes, get out your tinfoil, form yourself a hat, and join us in about 45 minutes when we reach the fun times of this podcast.
Yes.
And then make sure you put it on so that way the satellites don't read your brains.
Tencent doesn't get your brain data.
Tencent is the alien which we feared in Roswell years ago. Spoiler alert.
Chinese aliens?
Careful. I mentioned Trump already. Let's not make it worse.
We're going to have people busting the door in.
Open up.
This is the police.
This is the sound of the police. But anyway, if you were worried about things getting banned, boy, do I have some good news for you, Matt.
What's that?
There's things you can play right now to avoid the existential crisis you might be suffering from.
Life?
Never mind. Number one of the new releases is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout for PC and PlayStation.
You're getting a lot of press, that one.
A lot of press, a lot of love. Yeah. Looks like it's a cute, fun time of a lot of mini games and trying to win. Number two, Hellbound on PC. Number three, Scully for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number four, Call of Duty Warzone Season 5 has now started. Number five, Drink More Glurp for PC and Switch. Number six, Fast and Furious Crossroads for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Yes, the game that Matt and I shit on from the moment it was shown at the Game Awards has actually released. And spoiler, I don't think it's any better.
Kind of surprised it came out at all. Like, well, I
Vin
guess
Diesel's he's got a fun Fast 9 somehow. Or Fast 10, what are they on?
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. The rumors are going to space in the next one.
They just need to shut it down.
I appreciate... Here's my problem. I think for some... I was debating if I wanted to finish the list before I do this tangent. I think for some people, Vin Diesel's one of them. Fast and Furious is a great cinematic show. They believe in the franchise. They think it tells a compelling story and that not a second of it is cheesy. Then, I think there's 3 circles to the Venn diagram. The other circle is, it's a cheesy, dumb action flick, and I'm here for it. Then the third circle is, no, none of this is good. Why would you watch any of it? I fall into that last one.
So you have 2 circles that are overlapped, and then a third circle that's kind of
a third circle that's, away.
Away.
Yeah. It's 2 circles overlapped, and then one just kind of down in the corner that says, not feeling it. I checked out a long time ago on Fast and Furious, but I know there's still people that are like, I'm like, no, it's not good.
No.
I can appreciate you saying it's a cheesy, dumb action movie, because everybody likes a good, just popcorn, dumb action movie at some point. That's fine. I just know there's better options for me than Fast and Furious for that exact taste.
I agree.
But hey, when all the theaters are closed and you can't release your new movie, you drop a video game. Number 7, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition has made its way to the PC. Number 8, Inertial Drift for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And number 9, Matt's highlight of this week. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Infinite Combat for PC, PlayStation, and Switch. That is a European Union release, and I only put it in here because the title was really entertaining to me.
That's an anime.
Have you called it out before?
I don't know if we ever talked about it, but
now that you say it's an anime, I 100% agree with you, only on the fact that it's definitely an anime title.
Yeah, it's one of those animes that it's fairly well received. It's been fairly well received. So it's on my list to watch.
I love all of you. If you hear a popping noise, give yourself 2 seconds in 3, 2, 1. All right, man, we're going to continue. It's there.
You could have just turned the volume all the way down.
Don't ever tell me to do that, because that's like too much logic.
Okay.
And you make so many good points, but they're always after I've done the stupid thing.
I know, it's 2020. Hindsight's 2020.
Hey, I get the joke because it's like a year.
Oh my God, there's a pun. 2020, hindsight.
Yeah, wait till 2021 where hindsight's 2020. Be the whole thing.
Should we jinx ourselves? This is totally off topic now. Should we jinx
This
ourselves
podcast
and say
is
that,
off topic
and say it can't get any worse than 2020?
Are we going to do the hold my beer meme for 2021? Because it's already happened. 2020 did the same thing for 2019.
It's crazy. How low can you go? How low can you go?
I mean, we can predict world catastrophes if we wanted to. For
all I'm hoping is that the Gundam is real and
it moves. It is real.
Yeah,
Isn't that
but
the whole
real,
thing?
real.
Oh, real.
Laser swords. Vulcan head cannons.
Gundams have a pilot, right?
Yeah,
and just one pilot.
Just one. Well, depending on the series, but yeah, one pilot.
Okay,
we'll keep it simple.
Chest pilot or head pilot? Chest pilot.
Chest. Do
they have to climb up in, or they get picked up and put in?
It depends. So generally speaking, the Gundam that we are discussing, it transforms somewhat. So like the center pilot section is actually also like a fighter jet type thing. So it can all.
Oh, so you could be in the fighter jet and then fly into the chest cavity. And just be there.
Kind of.
Okay, so this thing is fully coming to steal your girl in 2022.
Yeah. I just, I could go for the Godzilla fight. A Gundam Godzilla fight would be kind of cool.
I'm going to mouth this to you because I don't want to say it out loud, but... Sorry for podcast listeners, but that one's got to get censored. I like the idea that it's the one I pitched to you downstairs, but along with this Gundam thing, there is an underwater base where they are building Mechagodzilla off the shores of Japan somewhere. Using that nuclear factory that went wrong in Korea. The spill-off from that is fueling Godzilla. And we are going to get Gundam v. Godzilla. And the only reason they're building the Gundam is because they know Godzilla exists now.
Yeah, I mean, Mechagodzilla could be a North Korean thing, you know what I mean?
Honestly.
I could see them doing that.
I would. Oh, that would be great.
And, Japan's
we will
just
now send Mechagodzilla as our ambassador to the U.S. Yeah. What? We'd love it. It's their version of Rodman. They would have it painted up like him. Mechagodzilla with all the sweet tattoos and crazy hair.
That thought was Interesting.
Mecha Rodman or Mecha?
Mecha Godzilla Rodman edition.
Now with a new DLC for sweet face tattoos. So there's a video game podcast in here somewhere.
Somewheres. I mean, we could probably turn it into one at this point.
Sure, let's turn it into one. Let's start with the news.
Do you want to get screwed, or do you want?
I'll get screwed. It's been a while. Oh, podcast.
So you want evens or odds?
Yeah, I'll take evens.
Oh, Jesus. He likes the sound of his own voice. That's
I
why.
do like the sound of my own voice, and I also usually have less flubs than you, so I'm going to give you...
Oh, wow. Shots fired. He's like, I'm great. You also suck.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it so directly.
The PlayStation Advantage.
Here's the part where now he needs to prove me wrong in every story he have not have
Uber
a
enunciate everything.
Yeah.
That was kind of inadvertent because I almost flubbed right there, and I was like,
I heard you start to slow down in PlayStation Advantage, and I was like, oh, don't do it right away.
Self-correct. The PlayStation Advantage is still going strong over at Square Enix. Sony and Square have announced that Spider-Man will be joining Earth's mightiest heroes in the Marvel's Avengers game. The catch is that Spider-Man is exclusive to the PS4.
So I'm going to dive into this for a minute.
Dive in.
I still can't get that sour meat taste out of my mouth, and that's going to sound so weird to people that don't know a frame of reference, but it's still there. Anyway,
I forgot to take a shower yesterday, so
that explains that explains a lot.
Woo! No,
man, the things we do before this podcast. No wonder we record so late. We get distracted watching dating shows and the Spider-Man problem, as it so pertains to this game specifically, because Spider-Man has shown up in Marvel, I think it's Ultimate Alliance or Ultimate Alliance 3 or whatever. The latest one that was on the Switch. He's there. Spider-Man's also in Marvel Strike Force on your phone, and he's in other games. But two of his specifically most successful games, I guess his specifically most successful game and his new upcoming game are the Crystal Dynamics Spider-Man from last year on PS4 and the new upcoming Spider-Man of Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
So this has everybody into a... It lit the internet on fire for a bit with people screaming about anti-consumer, which is a different concept we'll get to in a minute, but anti-consumer because not only did you didn't lock costumes away, which you did, but that was confirmed later that there's cosmetics and stuff like that are going to be exclusive to, I think, cosmetics and I think missions and some other stuff that don't truly affect, that are not as big of a deal to have exclusive missions or cosmetics to a console as to, say, an entire character that is beloved by the MCU fans and comic book fans locked to a specific console, including taken away from PC as well. So because he's on there, he's not on PC, he's not on Xbox, he's not on anything else this comes out to, and it's not timed either. He's just not there. Some of the other cosmetic stuff, I think there are rumors that some of that is timed for, a year of exclusivity type of thing. But Spider-Man himself is just never going to show up on the other consoles. So if you were a Xbox owner and a Spider-Man fan, well, first off, you got screwed last year with the Spider-Man game. You got screwed coming up with Miles Morales. And then you got screwed in the meantime by them taking away your opportunity to have the entire MCU at your disposal and said, except for one thing. And then they took that cookie away from you and gave it to the kid next door. So I can understand the outrage to an extent. But the idea that it's anti-consumer is weird as just a concept. We've discussed, I'm pretty sure the words anti and pro-consumer have showed up on this podcast before. Specifically speaking of Microsoft the last few times when we've discussed their new strategy going forward with Game Pass and smart delivery and all these things that are, I guess, if we're going to say that two concepts exist, pro-consumer because they take care of their fans that have been with them from 360 to 1 going forward, and they give you the best bang for your buck type situations, stuff like that. This is anti-consumer but pro-capitalism, which, not that we're going to discuss governmental systems, but a company, Sony, is not here to make you feel good. They are there to make money. And people are going to say, vote with your wallet and yada yada. Yes, that's what you should do. I agree with you. If you don't like this, don't buy the game. Unfortunately, you might be the vocal minority. You might be loud, but you might be the minority that's just going to blindly go, don't care. And the majority, as we always see, especially when it comes to like new Call of Duties and everything else, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. It gets posted everywhere. Hate to tell you, that community is not even a tenth of what the world is. And so it will still just be, hey, that's the Avengers game. Buy. But the idea, they are there to make money. So almost by definition, everything they do to make money is anti-consumer. Now, yes, did they hurt your feelings by taking away your character? Sure. I just don't like the wording of anti-consumer. Anti-fans might be more correct, but it's not Sony's IP, so that should be looked at more at Marvel, which is a fine line to split,
and also allows us our first opportunity to put on our tinfoil hats.
Ah, that's true. Tinfoil hat theory time.
While you were going through your spiel there, I read about the rights of Spider-Man video games. Earlier, we were discussing it. Marvel does own the rights to Spider-Man video games.
Right, because Sony owns the movie rights.
Yes.
Yeah, which is what I think I said I was 95% sure, because I was like, yes. I'm almost positive that is the case, but I'm not.
So, quick, long story short situation here. Marvel gave Sony the option of making a Marvel video game. They just happened to choose Spider-Man. Insomniac.
Yes, because when Marvel came out, not came out, but like when they signed that, I guess it was Disney more specifically, because Disney dished out a couple things everywhere to, like the Star Wars one went to EA, and they were starting to make up video game IPs again, and then the Marvel one comes out, and they kind of stretched their wings and gave them to, did they give it to Sony or did they give it to Crystal or Square specifically?
I'm talking, this is just backstory at this point, so I'm talking about,
but I don't remember if they gave it to
the Spider-Man video game, specifically.
I don't remember if they gave it to Square and then Sony had the deal, or if it was
Sony had the deal. And Insomniac made the game. Insomniac chose Spider-Man.
Yeah. I keep saying Crystal Dynamics. Insomniac, my bad.
Sony got the offer.
Crystal's making the new one.
Yeah, exactly. Insomniac chose Spider-Man, which is where the basis for that, like that's the groundwork.
Right.
Essentially.
Which is why everybody starts thinking that Spider-Man is a PlayStation exclusive and that PlayStation owns the rights.
Exactly. Which laid the groundwork for the PS5 Miles Morales and whatnot. And then we get to this situation where we'll put on our tinfoil hats. Because if you all remember, we spoke about the Spider-Man movies for a little bit. Yep. And there was the gaffe going on with Marvel making the Spider-Man sequels for Sony and all that good stuff. Yeah,
because they had a bunch of back and forth where this... In case anybody doesn't remember the first 5 Spider-Man movies and how bad they were, being Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yep.
Then Marvel wants to kind of ring it in and bring Spider-Man into their giant 13 movie or whatever 10-year MCU plan.
Mm-hmm.
So then there was the back and forth of who's going to own it, who's going to make it, blah, 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 blah. So they made their nice little, tolerable deal, agreed handshake.
Yeah.
You guys do what you want. But then after the
success, I would say.
Was it Homecoming? There was specifically a dispute after, I think, the second movie. The second Spider-Man specific movie, where then it was our handshake has now ended. How do we want to go back and forth? And Sony's like, well, we're going to take it back now because now it's really good.
Yeah.
And this is post Sony making Venom. And so then there was like we want to do a Spider-Man and Venom thing. And Marvel's like, well, but we have them written two different category, blah, blah. And then Sony, there was all that infighting of how they want to do things. So the tinfoil hat theory is...
The tinfoil hat theory is that we were discussing earlier that it seems kind of strange from the Marvel perspective for them to allow basically Spider-Man to be exclusive to PS4 for the new Avengers game.
When they have, up until, I would say this moment, been all about inclusivity and keeping everybody together and doing this whole big group Avengers idea.
Yep. So we theorize that there was a backdoor deal of sorts where Sony is like, hey, let us have exclusive Spider-Man for Avengers, and maybe we'll work out a movie deal to where you guys can keep making the Spider-Man movies for us. That's the tinfoil hat theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
You give us Spider-Man that we think might be able to offset the cost of us loaning you the license for the movie, and we'll just kind of continue down this path.
Mm-hmm.
Which very well might be true.
Could be true, and honestly, that's a fair deal for both parties, I think.
It makes sense business-wise. Marvel get to keep their, air quotes, new Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Based on how things kind of line up. They get to keep...
Spoilers.
Deal with it. It's been long enough. Millions have seen it. I'm not waiting my time anymore. Then they get to keep that, and they get to keep... Because I'm sure, Tom Holland's probably involved with all of this of like, who am I going to? Who do I...
Mm-hmm. Who am I calling mommy and daddy?
Well, because if Sony takes it over, they just don't have him anymore, and then it's like, that's really weird. Then if Spider-Man went back to Sony, how does that work with the MCU going forward and all these things? So yeah, it would make sense for them to come to some type of, even if it's silent, agreement of, hey, we'll do this thing, you let us do this thing. All right, sounds good. We'll talk when it happens again.
There it is.
But tinfoil hats, man.
Yeah.
You can say anything with a tinfoil hat on.
That's true. Which is why I love them.
No one reads your minds. Number 2. That's all we got for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll definitely drive... If you're a person that owns both consoles, I think it definitely drives you to buy on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely.
I think the potentially missed thing, and I also think the potentially terrible thing that could come out of this, is that Sony gets Spider-Man, but Microsoft gets so-and-so, and then PC gets so-and-so.
Hulk, but that sound
right. Yeah, but like something along those lines where all of a sudden now there's 3 exclusives, and you're like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Which, not good either. Also would be really weird because what if it's Xbox but it's Play Anywhere? If I buy it on PC, does that mean I get both characters? Like, I'm confused. Or if it's
big brain right
if
there.
If it's Play Anywhere, if I play it on the Xbox, I lose my PC character. But if I play it on the PC, I lose my Xbox character. I'm so confused. Luckily, that is currently not the case. You only have to worry about not playing as Spider-Man.
We'll see.
I'm still not horribly convinced by this game.
No, I'll wait. I'll wait for reviews.
Like the pre-registration beta is this weekend. Open is next weekend and the weekend after.
I think based on like what I've seen of the game, even if it's, I just don't care about. This is going to be like heresy, I think. I just don't care.
Hate to tell you, not heresy on this podcast.
I just don't care about the MCU like that much. So and when I say MCU, I mean like Marvel and the superhero thing going on there. Like,
my problem is I'm a DC fan.
Yeah,
and we've just been given the Shaft, so I just kind of live with it at this point.
Yep. So,
but not the show Shaft.
Yeah, the
different person.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. The game would have to be like a straight up home run, knock it out of the park.
Yeah,
like
it couldn't. It would have to be a no beats missed, 10 out of 10 from every, and I would be like, I am 100% in. As of right now, I think I said it was it last week or the last War Table where I was like, I'm curious. It's tempting. The ideas and thought processes of having that. Trying to get back to that first Destiny experience for us, where we just hop in on PC together and jam out to let's just be superheroes and blow up some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like conceptually fun, but if it's not done well in practice, I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And wanting it to be not something more, but good. I don't even know what I define good at. It needs to be better than good. Because I'm not invested like I am. If this was a DC situation, I would probably be more about it. But I would, even then, the way that the game's still presented, even if you swap it with heroes, I'm still just like, I'd be more inclined if it was DC just because it's my fandom. But I would still be so hesitant from what I've seen of like, I'm not sure you're going to launch complete.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those, because we already know it's a games as service, but I'm wondering if the launch is going to get so borked. Not Anthem borked, but like the post-Christmas update, the December 26th update, will be the big, like, woo! Because this title and the characters and the whole thing set itself up well for massive Christmas sales.
Yeah, which I think is kind of the point.
You're not going to get, your big MCU movie this year. Yes, Black Widow and all the rumors that are going around about that, about dropping it on Disney Plus for $30 and that whole thing. But you're not going to get the theater experience and all this other stuff. And you still have kids that love MCU and blah, blah, blah. The Christmas day will be probably filled with a lot of this. Some Cyberpunks, obviously, and other games that are going to happen, but this is your current frontrunner for comic book kid game. See what goes down. And the patch that might happen, right around then or January that cleans up a lot of what you're going to hear about the first month or two of just people complaining that, oh, this is boring or this doesn't do anything or all these things. I'm just worried it's not going to be complete at launch, which we already know by games and service, it's not going to be complete, but I don't mean as a games and service idea.
Like playable.
I mean playable with actual, like a complete game with service elements, not half a game that we're working to complete over the next year.
Yeah. I don't really have that fear. I think they will launch complete just based on like how the games... how they've been billing the game, like as what it is. Like I think they'll be. I think the campaign side of it will be complete. So like in that sense, it will be. I guess. I mean, story wise, sure that might be true, but these betas are going to be a very eye opening thing. I think for us as outside looking in, and for people that might be excited about it. Some people might be like, "Woo, it's what I wanted." Other people, and I've kind of heard it somewhat from people that played the open or the pre-registration beta today, where they're like, a lot of it feels samey. Like some of the heroes do feel different, but you're like, I'm walking down. We
one
knew
hall
that was going to be a thing.
Right. We know that's going to be a thing, but you have the people that they went too high with their expectations,
believing the marketing, bullshit,
which are just like, oh my god, and it's like, we will always preach on this podcast. Keep your expectations low, people. Because then you're always surprised.
Yeah.
If you keep them high, you're nothing but disappointed. Or just have no expectations, but if you have to have them, keep them low. That's what I tell women. When you're looking at me, just keep low expectations. Ain't much. I don't know why. Why do I go to self-deprecating bull? Number 2, the shakeup at Ubisoft continues. One of Ubisoft's most influential executives, Tommy Francois, has been fired after an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment made against him, reports Business Insider. Francois was formerly Ubisoft's vice president of editorial and creative services, a role that gave him oversight over the development of many of the studio's largest franchises. With a name like Tommy Francois, he sounds like the dirty porn villain in some weird open world game.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you read what the allegations were, you're not far off.
I believe the allegations, as you told me before, were that he was describing how he masturbated to employees?
Something like that. Like he was describing... That was the last part of it. Because there was
that's the last part.
Yeah, there was a whole list of stuff, and that was the last one. It just caught my eye because, he's just very
who
strange.
does that?
Yeah. Describing, how he masturbated the previous night or whatever the case may be.
That's just so... I mean, disgusting is the easy word to go for, but it's also just fucking weird. Like, who does that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm self-indulged, but I ain't about to do that.
I'm
gonna walk around and be like, hey, you want to know what I did last night? Cried alone eating a bowl of ice cream. Like, that's probably what I did. I'm not gonna,
On an objective level, I'm very fascinated with what's happening in Ubisoft because I generally like the idea of their games.
Yep.
And they're having a huge shakeup that's like fundamentally changing how the company's run and who's running the company.
Yeah. It's it's a lot of the top, the creative,
it's
like directors and whatever are like, nope, see ya.
Yep, it's the people who literally run the company out the door.
Yeah, and it's like I'm so curious to see what happens design wise and storytelling wise. Like
what games are made.
Yeah, and when we get to Ubisoft,
who's going to be that guy that axes Skull and Bones? Who's going to be that guy girl?
When we get further into more Ubisoft stories, and I make another joke about a game that's never going to exist, and they made a TV show first. You wait, because I have more questions than I have answers. But on the Ubisoft thing, do we know if he was the one or if it was somebody else that, because it says, vice president lead, blah, blah, that was against the idea of women leading roles in games. Do you know if it was him?
I'm not sure. I thought about looking it up, but then I was just like,
it's bad
fuck
enough.
it. I mean, either way, like I think they're all gone at this point. So,
and if not, you're about to be. So
yeah, clearly they're not messing around. So
that outside firm, man, doing work.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, as much as it's like I don't want to talk about that because it deserves coverage to call out people that are bullshit and I'm sure have affected more people than I want to think they have affected. And it's, disgraceful and disgusting and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I don't want to talk about him. Fuck him.
Fuck him. Don't give him the time of day.
I heard, right? I was going to make some joke. I was going to say I heard THQ's hiring and I was like, oh, they exist again. Never mind.
Sega.
Can't say that. Yeah, no, Sega still exists.
Yeah.
They pump out those $30 all-in-one consoles every Christmas.
Microsoft will launch its game streaming service known as Project xCloud. Actually, I think it's just xCloud now. On September 15th, exclusively.
I like the idea they never stop calling it Project xCloud.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
It's Project Scorpio.
They're launching September 15th exclusively on Android devices. iOS devices are missing out on xCloud, even though Microsoft did some testing on that platform. Do you want to know why? Probably not, but I'm going to tell you anyways. The short version of the situation is that Apple's App Store guidelines don't allow cloud services because Apple can't verify that every game able to be played meets their guidelines. A little music actually going on over there.
Apologies for my phone.
Caught you. Microsoft is placing blame for lack of iOS support solely on Apple. And in this case, it seems justified. That's also why you don't see Stadia on iOS devices.
Stadia.
I mean, I guess in that sense, they're being somewhat fair. But then I thought about this a little bit, briefly.
Oh, I'm curious.
Well, it's nothing exciting. It's just like, I don't understand that argument. Because, like, is Apple...
Wait, you don't understand the argument from Apple's perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
Because does Apple go through and verify every single thing in Netflix and Hulu? And not to mention, like, all right, so what about all the live TV apps? So, like, Hulu and YouTube, they have live TV. Is Apple going through and watching all the TV programming and be like, this is okay. This meets our guidelines. This meets our guidelines. Get the big Apple stamp out. That's a good one. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot to be said about
I'm of
Apple's
two minds.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm of two minds on it. But at the same time, I get it. They're a private company. Well, not really private. They're publicly traded. You know what I mean? They're a company.
They're a closed off, fart smelling, which is a South Park reference. Fart smelling up their own ass, like company.
Yeah,
I can't remember. There's a specific type of. Did Microsoft's quote make it in here?
No, I didn't. No. I didn't.
There's a specific thing that like Microsoft calls them. I don't think it's closed off. Maybe it is closed off.
It is. It's like
it's something along the
play
lines
on that.
Yeah,
idea.
Of them being closed off to this outside like world type of thing. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, generally, things Apple doesn't piss me off as much as most people. This is one of those things that does piss me off about that because it's just I don't know.
This is one where now between the two of us, the joke has always been you're the Apple fanboy. I hate them, and we always have that fun time. Yeah. But it's always specifically usually regarding phones.
Mm-hmm.
But now if we go to store policy, the Android store is full of garbage.
I know there's no happy medium there. You have Google Play Store, which is just
so much shit.
Chaos. And then you have the Apple Store, which is
according to them, curated. And now I say that with air quotes because bullshit is the first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to your guideline question, and they're like, well, we need to have this and blah, blah, blah. And Microsoft's like, these games are all rated by the ESRB and all these other things. Like, it's not a discussion. You don't have to rate the game. It's not a discussion if you have to approve the games or not.
Mm.
They're already all approved and available. And, you know, going back to the Stadia thing and then going to shows, like all those shows are also rated. So it's like, well, I don't know what. If you're drawing the line because you just want to piss off Microsoft, well, congrats, you did it.
No.
But now you've also pissed off iPad, iPhone, all those users that were like, cool, I can just hook up my Xbox sometime and play. No, you can't.
I mean, this is clearly a play. Like it's a play
that I don't think is going to work though. It's bluffing. It's bluffing with a 2-7 offsuit.
It's the play though.
The worst card in poker.
The play here though is like, all right, so they just had an antitrust lawsuit, or I don't know, about this generally this type of thing and their guidelines with apps and all that good stuff. And I don't remember the outcome of the lawsuit. I don't even know if there has been an outcome yet.
I think they lost, but there might not have been an outcome either.
But this is them trying to hedge their bet here because they don't want Stadia or xCloud on the App Store because it's Apple, and what market is Apple trying to break into right now?
Right, but they also have their own subscription service for that, except they're all homebrewed games. They're not
exactly, but
they're not pulling in.
But this is where
they're not pulling in the big titles that these would allow you to be.
Mm-hmm. But this is with them essentially being
Like Apple Arcade is never going to become what xCloud is trying to be. It's just not going to happen.
They disagree.
They can disagree all they want. They're wrong. And I appreciate their time. So this goes to, there's more things like with that antitrust thing and blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Amazon and Apple had a secret backdoor handshake to lower that 30% cut for Amazon to make their deal work. Deal in air quotes. Cool. So which bullshit line do you want to spout now? That everybody must follow your guidelines or that they don't? Also, fun fact, Fall Guys, brand new game. Brand new, August 4th, just came out. Curated App Store claimed. Whole reason we don't want these games on there, blah, blah, blah. There is already, that was put up before this podcast, a knockoff fake version of Fall Guys on the iOS App Store. Are you curating or not? That's illegal. So it's selective bullshit, which is just always funny to me when a company's like, everybody must obey our guidelines. Except you, little one. Except you. Don't worry, we got you. Everybody, we don't want... You're massive. Stay away from me. Leave the kids alone. You are way too big. I don't want you in this playground.
Hey, you're not China. Get out.
Yeah, you don't give me enough money. American companies. How dare you?
I don't know what's going on in here anymore.
Oh, Tim Cook. What have you done? He's still CEO.
Yeah, for sure.
Did he take over he's black turtleneck in jean pressers?
I think he is a jeans dude.
He's definitely a black turtleneck. I think that's just rule of CEOs. You have to wear their equivalent of a Master Chief outfit when you do press conferences.
I like that.
And whenever he dies, the next guy will just get fitted for his black turtleneck sweater and jeans and white Adidas. If they don't need glasses, they will wear fake ones.
I mean, I think they're cloning not Tim Cook. I think they're cloning Steve Jobs. That's my... I mean, it's Apple. They have so much money. If anyone can figure out how to clone
the only thing they never told you is that they reanimated his corpse. That's been him the entire time.
They reanimated. He died already.
Steve
Jobs died already. They reanimated him, for the second time for Apple's little comeback there.
Oh yeah. Well, we all know tinfoil hat theory. Bill Gates killed Steve Jobs years ago and stole all his ideas. Mm-hmm. Then Apple was like, "We need our founder," and they went and dug up his body.
Yeah, filled it with cats.
Oh yeah, it's cats all in a giant trench coat. It's the only way to do it.
Yep, exactly.
How else do you get into the movie theaters?
Wake up, sheeple.
I'm going to destroy this email server real quick. That has all my incriminating evidence about cats in a giant Tim Cook outfit. Oh, we must build a wall around the cats. They will take over.
No, you don't have to build a wall around the cats. You just got to put a box down.
No, not even have to put a box down. You can put tape on the floor and they'll sit in it. Oh. Have you ever seen that one?
Or you just
get painter's tape and put a rectangle on the floor, and they will just walk over and sit in it.
I wish I had a cat to test all these theories. I always see remember when the cucumber thing was going around for a while?
Oh yeah, scaring cats with cucumbers. It's not how you think they do it. Number 4. With the imminent launch of xCloud. God, I wish they came out with a better name with it. I get it because it's X and it's cloud and it's
X gonna give it to you.
I wish they was I don't know.
Yeah, let's hear it, Nate. What do you got for us?
The more I think about it, I don't know what I want them to call it, but it's...
I feel like xCloud is perfect because
it's exactly perfect, but it's at the same time it's not.
Do you really want them coming up with another name? We have the Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X. Their naming leaves a little bit to be desired, so I'll take xCloud.
The worst part is when you're in the retail store and you're like, "Hey, can you hand me that Xbox Series Xbox?"
Take the Xbox Series Xbox out of the Xbox Series Xbox
and put it in the Xbox case next to the Xbox Series One Xbox boxes. retail pain. All around me are familiar faces. Oh boy, with the imminent launch of xCloud, there's been a slew of controllers released that target cell phones. Let's cover a few real quick. I'm going to jump in before I even read these next two. I'm pretty sure you can pair your DualShock and your Bluetooth
Hush now.
Xbox controllers to your phone.
Hush.
Which is even funnier.
Shh. They're cheaper. Shh.
Which is even funnier because iPhone touted for a while that their Bluetooth capability allowed you to pair specifically DualShock 4 and Microsoft Xbox controllers to your iPhone.
Hey, you know that the PS4 controller, the DualShock, is going to be compatible with xCloud?
Yeah, that's not horribly surprising. It's funny that they've declared it.
Yeah.
That Microsoft has been like, yeah, it works. Mm-hmm. When before you have to run like almost an emulation program on your computer to switch it over.
Yep. Or if you don't want to do that easy route.
Yeah, if you don't want to do the easy route with existing things you probably
and you just want to throw money at a problem.
Which is what we do here. Hence our $200 new mics with ones we already... The gaming peripheral maker Power...
These were an improvement first.
These were a giant improvement.
You wait till we replace that honking thing that you gotta pull cables out of and create poppy noises.
You wait till we. I think it's like 641. I'm gonna cut that out. But you wait till we replace that. When we replace that, guess I'm ordering two. One's going over there, just getting plugged straight into my computer. I'm ordering a second IKEA desk so I can have a big L because I'm insane.
It needs help.
All around me for gaming peripheral maker Power A. Never heard of them, Matt. I don't think I have. I honestly don't think I've heard of Power A.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
I've heard.
You just never read their name before. Because most
I will continue reading. Gaming peripheral maker, I'm going to start this for the 7th time, Power A, has debuted a couple controllers. The first is the Moga, I know that name, XP5-X, a $69.99 wireless controller that will launch in September that resembles an Xbox 360 controller. It includes a phone clip, and the controller itself has a 3,000 milliamperes per power reserve that can be used to charge your phone. My entire tablet just reloaded, and I don't have a document anymore.
Got him. There it is.
Remember that conversation about me buying something new? Next is the Moga XP7X Plus, and with its 2,000 milliampere battery, it can charge your device via QI charging.
I think you're supposed to pronounce it key, maybe.
Probably key. That's how I would assume it's key and not quai. This controller spreads apart so your phone can be held in the center. Oh, it's one of the you put your
switch
almost Joy-Con on each side type of thing. It's funny that you didn't put a price in for the second one.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's just funny because it's a split one, but it's the XP7 with a smaller battery. I assume the key charging is probably the wireless charging.
Yep. It'll charge your phone wirelessly.
Which also means your phone has to support wireless charging.
I think it might be $80.
That would probably make sense. 70 and 80 or 70 and 90.
Yeah.
But your phone also has to support wireless charging for that feature to matter.
Yep.
It depends on the game, I think, for the idea of putting it in the middle for me to care between the two.
I like the idea
I guess if I really needed a phone charger at the same time, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part that I like the idea of, is the fact that they have a bigger battery in them so that you could charge your phone. Like if you're
it has a smaller battery in it.
Well, that they have a battery at all, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because it's a smaller battery, but it can be charged wirelessly, where the other one includes a larger battery that can be used to charge your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not buy the cheaper one?
Oh, it's just like a wireless wired thing or style of controller.
Just buy the cheaper one. It's got a bigger battery.
Well, if you like that, read the next section.
Speaking of peripheral companies, Razer has made a variant of its shape-shifting Nintendo Switch-esque Kishi controller that's ready for xCloud that'll set you back $100. This new version has the same design as the standard Kishi, but has a dedicated Xbox button near the directional pad. It's worth noting that Razer's standard Kishi without Xbox branding costs $80, so $20 less than the officially licensed one. Razer confirmed the standard model will also work with xCloud. So you don't need to spend the $100 unless you want the button.
You can spend the extra $20 if you want the Xbox button.
Listen, man, I need to get to my sweet Xbox menu real fast. Press the button. $20. Saves me a lifetime of clicks. I have to go through 2 menus. What? What am I, a peasant? You and your cheap controller with no Xbox button. You know, there's some guy at PAX next year, or if there is one, PAX a couple years when this is a thing, and he's like, oh, you don't have the Xbox button? Look at this. Boom, friends list. I'm not adding you. And I'm just like, oh my God, I hate every second of your existence. Please get away from me. I'm just still curious to see how well xCloud does. Like,
Same.
I still love Rainway. I've talked about Rainway all the time. Not as much as I should recently, but Rainway has started dropping apps on almost every app store.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Rainway, though, is you run the Rainway server client, air quotes, on your PC. It picks up all the games you have installed, and then you can connect back to your PC and play those games.
Mm-hmm.
Where xCloud and Stadia and those things differ is you're connecting to their servers and streaming the games from them, from a library of readily things, not just like what you currently have installed and this other stuff.
So what's
like Rainway is allowing you to like remote play to your PC.
Does Rainway work outside of your network?
Yeah.
It's the latency?
I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does.
Shit, or is it okay?
I haven't tested it. I've only tested it in my network.
Mm-hmm. It's okay in your network though?
Yeah, I think you saw me play Stardew on it that one time when I had it up on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
It was pretty all right. I mean, it's Stardew, so it's not like a Twitch shooter, but it was still pretty close to. It was closer than Stadia was.
Mm-hmm.
But I was I was within my own network too. I haven't. I debated trying it the next time I travel and just seeing what I can get away with. But that'll be. Who knows when that'll be?
Yeah,
travel, COVID. But yeah. So I mean, that if you're somebody that's like you, who has talked about like I want to.
Speaking of COVID, I heard a great name for people who don't like to wear masks. COVIDians. Doesn't sound great. It sounds like a cult. So good.
For some reason, I thought Corinthians. Which they're the same Bible people. You know what? It might be close. But there's an overlap. The thing for like Rainway for you though, because you've talked before about, I want to play it on a bigger screen, or we're going to play something or whatever. So you've like physically moved your PC into the other room, to play in the living room, where Rainway could alleviate that for you and not have to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying, like in situations like that, or for like me here, if we wanted to play something downstairs, say everybody's over and we all want to play Fall Guys, we all want to play.
In my stupidity, I have a Steam Link that could do that.
Yeah,
and I don't use it.
What I was thinking about
with Rainway,
I have one too. It's in the drawer.
What I was thinking about Rainway though is that would be nice to play on my phone.
Rainway picks up not just Steam, where like Steam Link
just
pulls your Steam. Rainway's pulled my Epic games, other games. It pulled Magic before I installed it in Epic, so I could have played Magic from.
Yeah, like I'm thinking Rainway would be a good solution if like I want to keep playing the game, but Samantha's like come to bed with me. I could play in bed.
Yeah, because you can play it on your phone. That's how I've done it. The other thing would be, and it would be weird, but say I set up Rainway here, and you wanted to hit and play something from my computer.
Yeah.
Okay. You could do it. It's just, it's an interesting thing. I think Rainaway needs more love than it gets.
Probably.
But it's not... you have to own the games and everything like that, which is where xCloud and these other things... Because xCloud is with Game Pass, so you would just be streaming stuff like that. I'm just curious to see if it has this... If it has anywhere near the... and it probably will have near the problems, but that I experienced with Stadia. Because I'm going to give it a shot. I want to try it.
Stadia.
But Stadia had so much lag, I couldn't do it.
I think, I have no justification for this, but I have more faith in Microsoft figuring out xCloud than...
Well, I agree, only because they're both tech giants, but when it comes to specifically the gaming aspect of things, Microsoft's been around and been doing it.
Yeah.
And Google's like, we see the future, we're going to try to jump. So it's a little different.
They like Microsoft's dynamic scaling that they do for on like PC with like Forza and like their is kind of I think it's underrated how well it works.
And I think there was inklings of what xCloud can do in Mixer before it died. Mixer had the FTL, the faster than light protocol that we've discussed before, of super low latency, almost the equivalent. Like if you were watching somebody and they were using FTL, it would be the equivalent almost if you were sitting in the room watching over their shoulder. No 5-second delay or whatever it is in some other places. Then they also had, like, you could stream in really weird aspect ratios. So you could pull up like an emulator of an old game and send that weird resolution and aspect ratio to Mixer, and it would figure it out and then still display so it made sense.
Yeah.
So if it was doing that there's a lot of the technology that existed there that you could see also working very well for xCloud, of going from phones to having to do all these other things and handle stuff like that. I'm intrigued. I want to try it when it comes out just because I want to try it, and I'm always curious to try new technology, but we'll see. I still don't have a use application for it.
I don't either, because like I mean,
if it's really good and I don't have to install anything anymore, I'll make a thin client PC and just carry that around. Like, oh, we're going to the hotel in Boston, I'm going to pick up my NUC and play Xbox games on it.
Yeah.
Hook it up to the TV on the bike rack because the fucking HDMI cable doesn't work.
Dude, I gotta bring over my PC sometime. You guys see how small it is.
Okay.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Hey, man.
Small PCs.
Next time we got to play Super Hot.
Good point. Which leads into this story, actually, because we got to have a discussion. Logitech is announcing its first new racing wheel in 5 years. The G923 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC. The G923 succeeds the G29 and the G920. These fucking names, bro.
Wait.
The new one is the G923. The old one is the G29 and the G920. So the pair...
Just know.
One's for PS, one's for PlayStation, one's for Xbox. And now they're combining it into a single wheel.
Okay, so all you need to know about that is that the G923 is the new one.
Yes.
Don't walk into the store and ask anybody else about the other ones.
Yep. It'll be available in August for $400.
Ooh, not a...
The G923 looks very similar to the old ones, which I'm not going to say their names. But it features an all-new force feedback system the company is calling True Force.
Haptic?
The system is designed to provide more realistic feedback to the wheel thanks to integration with the game's physics and audio engines. The wheel can then take those inputs, such as the level of noise coming from the car's engine or the surface the wheels are traveling over, and translate them into vibrations that can be felt through the wheel. Logitech says Grid, Assetto Corsa, and Gran Turismo Sport will have support for the system immediately, while iRacing, F1 2020, and Dirt Rally 2.0 plan to add the feature in September.
Didn't mention the 3 games I'm actually concerned about.
Project Cars and...
No. I mean, add 4.
Forza.
Project Cars 3, Forza Horizon, Forza 7, and the new Gran Turismo.
I bet they will.
All the upcoming games.
It's
like
classic.
iRacing's great. F1 2020 makes sense.
It's classic Logitech. So they have a SDK pack that needs...
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it will work, but it's just like, you've told me everything that I assumed it would work for.
Yeah.
I want to hear the latest and greatest of the reason why when I go buy my PS5, I also pick up the $400 racing controller, and then I stare at Gran Turismo till my eyes bleed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Well,
when
this
I go,
rekindled
when I go really hard into that corner and my wheels go off into the dirt, and it's just...
Seeing this article, and then, a couple weeks ago playing the VR with on Project Cars, I was like, yeah, we should do this. I should get a wheel. We should check it out, see what it's all about.
Wheel in a racing seat. And then we take the racing seat and put it in an actual car.
Yeah. I mean, that would be ideal. And then actually race. Take it to a track, naturally. Do it legally.
Yeah.
We're not none of those illegal fools.
Yeah, we'll go to the...
we're not no fucking Fast 22.
We'll go to the...
Or whatever movie they're on, Fast 10.
Who knows? 78. I was gonna say we'd go to the airport and go to the hangar track. Not that hangar track, not that airport, but I was going for the Top Gear hangar track reference, but I couldn't think of the actual name of the damn course.
I was really hoping they turned the base into a drag strip, but
turn Oneida into a drag strip.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
nobody flies in there except for
spare airport would be a fantastic drag strip.
Nobody flies into Oneida except for either private people or like government needing a landing spot.
Yeah. And they end up going to the base anyways because the runway's longer.
Oh, listen, they drive over there. I don't even want to talk about it.
Regional issues.
Oh yeah, regional problems. So or they just go to Drum,
like
and then drive down. Number 6, Take-Two has updated their position on next-gen game prices during an earnings call this week. CEO Strauss Zelnick, which if you're looking for a bad guy in a video game,
that's a Bond villain.
Strauss Zelnick said, quote, "We're definitely announcing pricing on a title-by-title basis. I would just observe there hasn't been a frontline price increase for a very long time, although costs have increased significantly," end quote.
Little backpedal there.
Yeah, it's a smart backpedal of, hey,
No. I mean, they came out with the price, then Ubisoft and a couple others said, oh, we're staying.
Yeah.
And then he was like, fuck, let's backpedal.
And either way,
the right choice.
The backpedal is only the backpedal of the wording, not like NBA didn't all of a sudden become $60. It's still $70. It's just that which I think would have been the better case, like backpedal and drop your price. And I get we think it's worth $70. That's fine. That we've discussed this topic. We beat it ad nauseum. But Take-Two owns Rockstar, or publishes Rockstar. Rockstar can get away with charging $100 if they wanted to. Because Rockstar's games, GTA 5, is still massive. So
I feel like we might have talked about this with Red Dead, but if Red Dead was $70, $80, I would have bought it. I still would. I would have bought it and not thought about it. I would have been like, all right, yeah.
And then for how long we played it, and still every time we,
I still think about. I was thinking about it yesterday. I watched a freaking video of Arthur.
I saw some. His face was over the top of the Drake meme, the no yes meme, and the moment I saw that, I was just like, mangoes. I got a plan, Arthur. I just need some money. I got really close to Jack Nicholson's Joker. A man dressed as a bat gets all of my press. Anyway, sorry.
All right, Doom Eternal.
Ooh.
It's getting DLC, campaign DLC.
Doom is eternal.
The Ancient Gods. Part 1 is the first of at least 2 campaign DLCs. The Ancient Gods picks up after the end of the main story in a time where, due to the Slayer's actions, the armies of heaven and hell have fallen out of balance. The demons have flooded in to overtake the weakened angelic realm, so the Slayer's been called in to clean up the mess.
So the Slayer's going to heaven to fight off the army of hell.
I don't know. I mean, you played the game, right?
Well, no, I'm.
How's it end?
You kill the Khan and stop the armies invading the armies of hell invading Earth.
I thought you were going to say kill the Khan and stop the armies from invading Japan. I was like, oh, what game are we talking about?
Different Khan. Goddamn Mongolians. I mean,
I just don't understand.
I got a Ghost of Tsushima Khan thing later, but when we get to what we've been playing, based on what you said, it sounds like
but I don't
called in the Doomslayer so that they went to.
What could you have done in the game though to where you would have weakened the angelic realm?
No, weakened. It's not specifically that. It's that after his actions, they have fallen out of balance. So it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't say you weakened the angelic realm.
Yeah, but like, I'm assuming the Slayer is killing demons. Yeah. So if anything, wouldn't he be weakening the demon side?
He might be,
but
it's out of balance.
So is he gonna kill the angels and shit? Because that'd be dope.
Well, that'd be interesting. That'd be a real weird spin. I doubt it. I'm pretty. I mean, it says you're going up there to clean up demons. My guess is that it was.
This is just too complicated.
The way they say out of balance,
there's a twist.
I would assume there's a twist of some sort, or that because of how many demons you killed and the actions that happened, something went, like heaven went to invade hell and then got pushed back, and now hell has shown up on the Angel's Gate, and now it's this weird double fight where every person that fell from heaven in the battle was raised in hell to go back and fight. So they almost like swapped army sizes almost.
I mean,
and the Doomslayer is the only one that can go do the final kill.
I mean, we're talking about
takes the wooden stake and stabs it through the vampire's heart.
We're talking about Doomslayer, so ideally he's killing everyone.
If in a perfect world, Doomslayer cares none and kills all.
Yeah, so maybe that's what he'll do. I like that. I'm gonna believe in that.
I'm gonna believe in that Doomslayer. Doomslayer 2020. Number 8.
Yeah, let's move on.
Hey, I'm just saying, this pandemic keeps going. The Flood might show up. Doomslayer might show up. BJ Blazkowicz might get bored. The whole thing.
Sounds great to me.
Number 8, the Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered has been leaked through Game UK. The game is also available for pre-order from the retailer, although no official announcement has been made yet.
Just in case you were, sick of hearing more Mass Effect Trilogy.
Listen, until Walmart Canada leaks it, don't worry about it. They'll have it first. They always do.
Rocksteady has tweeted an image of a Suicide Squad crosshair on the back of Superman's head with the date August 22nd. So yeah, that's a thing.
I'm intrigued.
I mean,
we'll see. By intrigued, I mean quite literally that, where I'm just like, okay.
We'll see. We'll see where they take it. I have a sour taste in my mouth. Not a meat sour taste, but
I got a meat
sour taste in my mouth from like the whole Suicide Squad movie thing.
Right. Which is why when they say Suicide Squad, I'm just hoping that Margot Robbie, Will Smith, and Jared Leto aren't involved.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Love Margot Robbie. Love Will Smith.
Could take it or leave it with
Could take it or leave it with Leto, and his Joker can leave. But the possibilities for what they're implying and what you're potentially going to be playing like in the game are intriguing enough where and I enjoy Rocksteady's last Batman games. It's just like, yeah, I'm a superhero. I punch things. Yay, it's fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I want to see more. And I will in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, 2 weeks should be after we record the second podcast. So, number 10. Sony held the State of Play showcase on Thursday, and here is everything they revealed and or told you more about.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, had an in-depth trailer that highlighted gameplay. It looked good. I mean, it's to get an actual, truly new Crash and not a remaster, and still have it. It still looks great and everything like that. Cool. I'm sure Crash people are pumped. I am like whatever on Crash. I don't have a horse in the race.
I'm weird. So it's kind of my Crash. I'm going to be quick on this. My Crash history is kind of interesting because like
it's all Crash Team Racing.
I started off as a PlayStation kid.
Okay.
So like I played all the Crash games, and like I have fond memories of playing all the Crash games. No interest in the new one for some reason, which is kind of weird to me.
No interest in the remaster either?
No.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I played a lot of fucking Crash.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there. There's a disconnect there somewhere in my brain.
Yeah.
So
I was a Nintendo to Xbox kid. So I had no Crash, but I still have no Crash. So
Sega Genesis. And
I also have no
PlayStation.
Spyro.
I played Spyro too, and I'm not interested in Spyro.
I'm more intrigued by like a new Banjo-Kazooie than I am.
You know what I'd love? A new cool
Echo the
Borders.
Dolphin? Oh.
Cool Borders. Cool Borders.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I say we go back to what we were talking about before and go get Wave Race. Or Wave Runner. Or War Thunder? No.
Thunder.
War Thunder? No.
Thunder.
Wave
Thunder? Thunder.
The arcade cabinet.
Yeah. What the fuck is it called?
The next thing they showed was the entire Hitman trilogy will gain PSVR support, including Hitman 3, which we saw a trailer of in VR. And apparently,
I guess first person is a better way to put that.
I mean, it's VR
perspective.
It's the VR perspective, which will put you first person in Hitman's shoes to actually perform assassinations in first person.
We're gonna have a VR night when this comes out, where you can play super hot. You know, you can get out and get your berries off. We can play some Hitman, choke some people out.
I don't know why you have such a problem with me and my obsession with Super Hot VR because it's so unbelievably good. But yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Which one of us is
buying
buying
racing steering wheel?
I say which one of us is buying the steering wheel?
I'll get the steering wheel. Don't worry about that.
You show up, you're like, I got the helmet, I got the PC. Can you get the seat out of the back? I brought the car on the trailer. We gotta roll that off. It's got everything inside it.
That would be so cool. Just like a front clip the car.
Yeah, you just show up with a beater and we gotta lift it off, throw it in the second stall in the garage, and then just sitting there all night playing games. I'm sorry, you said that was a bad idea? Bullshit. The next thing that they showed was Braid is getting an anniversary edition with redrawn art and a developer commentary. God, you remember Braid?
No.
Oh, well, it was a game. Spelunky 2 had a release. That's all. I mean, I think it was critically acclaimed when it came out, but it never...
I mean, it looked very interesting.
It never...
I remember the name.
Never struck a chord with me.
Yeah, I remember the name, but it didn't do anything for me, so...
Yeah. Spelunky 2 had a release date trailer, and it'll be out on September 15th. I also wasn't a huge Spelunky fan, but hey, if you were, cool. Control is getting its second expansion called Awe, focused on Alan Wake. That'll be out on August 27th. I'm intrigued, but once again, that's it.
Did you play Alan Wake?
Not American Nightmare, but the first one, yes.
I didn't play it.
It's... Control very much has Alan Wake in it. Like,
same universe, obviously.
I don't know if that's true. It might be. I honestly don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Wake, you're a writer that is like locked away in a cabin that's writing, and it turns out you're in your own head, like having to fight off shadow demons and things.
Mm-hmm.
Where Control is actual alternate dimension shit. So it's possible, but I don't know if they're actually in the same universe or if
you're just going to go to the Alan Wake dimension.
Either the Alan Wake dimension, or you're going to find out that the Federal Bureau of Control has files regarding the Alan Wake phenomenon stories and stuff like that. And then you have to go through and solve the fact that he's hiding in a closet somewhere in the motel.
Okay.
Control, man. You got to use a motel to travel places. Then, Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series, is going to hit PlayStation VR on the 25th of August, and Matt says it looks dope.
It does look dope. That'd be another VR party thing.
I believe I've called out the first 2, maybe 3 episodes of this over the last year. I believe they were Oculus specific, though. So now it's coming to PSVR. Cool. Aeon Must Die was announced with a trailer.
There's drama around that one.
Yeah, there's some drama between them and their publisher?
The developers.
Yeah, it was the developers, and I think the publisher came out and were like, we are trying to get a full report before we do anything.
We'll wait on that one. I'm sure we'll hear more.
Yep. Every time Aeon Must Die, what's the first thing I thought of? What's that movie?
Aeon Flux.
No. Movie ending in Must Die.
Uh,
Teen romance stupid movie.
Yeah, someone must die.
Yeah, similar to I Know What You...
Shane.
I wanted to say like Zach Taylor.
Maybe
not
that's
not the president.
Someone must die. I know.
Yeah, somebody must die. It's akin to like I Know What You Did Last Summer in terms of dumb. Hood, Outlaws and Legends was announced with the trailer. It's a PvPvE heist game. So player versus environment heist game. The concept looks intriguing, but I don't know if it's the...
It seems out of time.
It seems like it's too late.
Yeah.
Like Hunt Showdown is PvPvE, but done differently. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see if it takes... I'm intrigued. Hey, you get the idea of this podcast? I'm intrigued about things. I like the idea of where it could go. I just don't know that it'll ever get off the ground to get there.
Yeah. Might be
Dead on Arrival.
That was the saying I was thinking of.
That's a song by... Never mind. The Pedestrian is coming to PS4 on January 2021. If you're familiar with Reddit, you've seen this game for the last 5 years. Because it constantly shows up in like game dev and blah, blah, blah. Always shows up. It's like a puzzle solving game where you're a stick figure having to move things around, and then you end up switching environments and backdrops and stuff like that. The concept looks kind of cool. I'm just curious to see how long it has versus something where what was that puzzle game with The Witness?
Yeah,
where there was so many puzzles in that game. Is this a 5-hour puzzle game?
This is very much a Reddit game to me, to where like I see it on Reddit and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. But then like if it comes to me actually playing it, I'm like, yeah, I can't imagine. Like, yeah, well, it's not that it's a bad game. Like I just can't picture myself enjoying.
Yeah, it seems like it would be one where it's like I'll watch a playthrough of it and be like, all right, cool, I enjoyed that. But it's like at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know if I really want to. It still looks cool. There's also that one. It's not in this list, but it's a Reddit favorite. I can't remember the name of the game, but it's the perspective game where you can grab an object and then pull it out and drop it and then like walk into it, because it's all about like your distance to things and blah blah. Blah. Anyway, we saw more of Bug Snacks, which should be out during the holidays of 2020. Kind of bug and kind of snacks. Bug Snacks. I'm over that song, by the way.
I think we all are.
Only that part of it I'm a fan of. And that's the only part of it I was a fan of from the beginning. Because like that entirely makes sense. I wish they did like Hitman like that.
Bug Snacks.
Kind of assassin, kind of a man. Ass man. I realized hit didn't work. Shit. Never mind. The next game we saw was Anno Mutation M.
Bro, I don't
Mutation M is coming to PS4 December 2020. The Pathless from the creators of Abzu is coming soon, and we saw the PS5 version during the showcase. We saw gameplay. I'm going to start moving. We saw gameplay for Genshin Impact, and it looks like some whack-ass Japanese shit.
Dude, I wasn't going to describe that game, first off.
That's what you described it as. Meanwhile, I have in the title, is it wrong to pick up a boyfriend in a dungeon? And we're like, yeah, this is some whack-ass shit. Oh, boy. Also, Auto Chess, from the creators of the original Auto Chess mod that sparked the Auto Chess explosion of Auto Chess in 2019, is coming to Auto Chess PS4. There's a lot of Auto Chess in there, Matt. I don't know why I wrote it so many times. Auto Chess is that specific one that they're bringing to PS4. I've played on my phone. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's Auto Chess. It's what you expect. It's just not tied to like Dota has a version, Hearthstone kind of has a version, League of Legends has a version. So there's no like brand recognition. It's its own thing. Yeah. But it still fills all the concepts of everything that you would expect from one, because it's the first one. Temtem, the Pokemon-style game that was a hit on Steam, is coming to PS5 in 2021. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we got an in-depth... I think it's still in early access. We got an in-depth look at Godfall, specifically the different weapon classes, or at least two, in which we saw dual-wielding and long swords.
Sounds right.
I'm telling you, people, it's God mode.
It looks like it is.
It's God mode mixed with too human.
Yeah. Too human. Do you know I own that game?
Do you know how much too human comes up on this podcast, Matt? Because
too much.
As far as I'm concerned, we're the only two people that played it.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody else that's played it. I've seen it. Actually, I've seen it. I can't remember on whose shelf. In like their 360 games, I saw Too Human, and I was like,
it's probably my house. You probably just didn't.
No, it wasn't your house. Why would I see your 360 games?
That's one of the only games that I have like sitting with my entertainment shit because I looked for like 2 or 3 years to find a copy.
Was
of
it in
game.
your storage?
Maybe
when we cleaned out your storage that day, I saw it or something.
Maybe.
But yeah, Too Human, man.
Too Human.
What a game.
What
I know who it was. Wasn't you?
Okay.
Somebody else. Haven't spoken to him in years though.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Activision Blizzard seems to have fallen into some more bad press. Hundreds.
What? Who would have thought?
Hundreds of employees at Blizzard Entertainment are using the company's Slack network. I got like cottonmouth to organize a list of workplace requests, including fair pay and increased sick time. The employees. Wow. The employees have been sharing salary details in a spreadsheet across the company, which reportedly shows that some staff are paid less than $40,000 per year. This is less than half the median household income of Irvine, California. Is it Irvine?
Irvine.
I don't fucking know.
The chef.
I'm not a geographical Nazi.
I don't know that pronunciation makes you a geographical Nazi. Grammar Nazi, more correct. And for that, I want you to be correct about what Nazi you're calling me, Matthew.
Listen, I don't know every town and village and hamlet in this fair land.
Have you ever heard of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan? That's a Who's Line joke from the 90s. Oh my god. Or at least 2000.
Too much. Like,
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Former Activision Blizzard employees have told Bloomberg that
that's what I'm talking about. He starts fucking up the later we get.
I'm tired.
It's been a long one. It's a long
life. You know, it just needs to be over with.
We can end it now.
Where was I?
Podcast just stops.
Former Activision Blizzard employees have told Bloomberg that they've seen their pay as much as double when leaving for a similar position at another company. News of the demands follows Activision Blizzard's most recent financial results, where the company reported revenues of $1.92 billion, up from $1.4 billion last year. Blizzard specifically saw a 20% year-on-year increase in revenues to $461 million.
Am I surprised?
No.
Thank you.
I want to be fair to Blizzard and Activision Blizzard. I'm sure they're not the only ones with this problem.
No, not even close. It's just the latest person to get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the... So going to the idea of anti-consumer, how about anti-employee?
Yeah.
We make shit ton of money. We screw you over. It's a fun time for all of us. It's always something that we've fought, I think, either personally or on here.
Mm-hmm. I assume...
Like, we've had specific conversations in previous jobs where we're like, oh, you guys happen to run the number one department in the store. Piss off.
I'm assuming, like, as I get older and get more life experience and talk to people who have other experiences,
I like the way this is going. You're wholesome so far.
I feel like it's a battle that a lot of people have experienced, mainly because most people are employed by larger corporations.
So, yes, I agree with that statement because it's true.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's obviously...
I'll stop with the obvious statement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blanket statement, and, like, clearly there is probably a good amount of exceptions to that rule as well.
Right.
So.
I think the other problem, I don't know, it is a semi-human problem. you suffer at the bottom, and heaven forbid you make it to the top. Well, now that you make it to the top, if you're the typical greedy human that we all are, you want more money because you've been screwed over for so long that it just keeps going. It's a cycle that never stops. If you happen to make it to the top, you're like, well, now it's my turn. But you never think of the little people that helped you get there.
Mm-hmm. Greed. I kind of I'm kind of fascinated by it in a sense because I want it's hard to fathom being in that position and making that choice. The
top level.
The top level. But I'm assuming there is something there that once you get there and you getting that money or whatever, that power, it corrupts you.
It's called the first paycheck where you go, there's more zeros on there than I thought there were going to be.
And I can get even more zeros?
How many people do I have to unemploy? Fuck them. Give me that money.
Yeah. I'm assuming
I'll do this whole thing by myself. I'll sell this company before I'm done. Give me the money. You're going to offer me $3 billion for this company? Who gives a shit at this point? It's worth 10. I don't care. $3 billion is a lot of money. Fuck off. See you guys later. I'm out. Closing this place down. I'm going to my Tahitian island and sell mangoes. I don't know. It's always entertaining to, specifically looking at this situation. They're in Irvine, California.
Mm-hmm.
We're in podunk, middle of nowhere, New York.
Yeah.
Our expected salaries for jobs are quite different.
Mm-hmm.
Because cost of living is quite different.
Yeah.
My job probably pays $40,000 more minimum if I go there. But I also pay out my ass probably in living expenses versus what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those where it's like, I like the number you get. I'm going to ignore everything else that you have to spend that on.
Yeah.
Which has happened where I had some LinkedIn recruiter at one point message me for a job in New York City. He's like, you want to make up between 120 and 140,000? I was like, well, between that's 130,000, but we'll ignore your math incapability. You just say around 130. But I was like, no. One, because I'm not moving to New York City. Because it's New York City.
Yeah.
But two, okay, so even if I made 140,000, right?
You'd be able to afford
a 500 square foot apartment.
You could get
no car
3-bedroom apartment with 2 other roommates.
Yeah, with 2 other roommates, that the rent was still $5,000 a month. If I was lucky. Yeah. That's not even saying that I try to live in New Jersey and commute in constantly and everything else that goes completely no way. No, I'm good. Do I want more money? Always. Do I blame them for wanting more money? Never. Who doesn't want more money? That's the whole reason we do everything in this life. And if you tell me wrong, then you're Gandhi. But, whatever.
Okay. There it is.
You should deserve nukes in civilization. Number 12. Yeah. I don't know if you saw my final note that I put in here, but it's going to be fun.
I did.
Which is also why I decided to take this story, because I wasn't going to blindside you with that in case you didn't
read it.
I
saw it. It's good.
Number 12. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that would prohibit transactions between Americans and Tencent, taking effect on September 20th, 2020. As reported by Forbes, this order comes into effect simultaneously with a similar order to ban Americans from transacting with TikTok owner ByteDance. And the wording in the order specifies that the goal of the Tencent order is to target the app, I think it's an app, WeChat.
Mm-hmm.
Though the wording specifies transactions, quote, related to WeChat, end quote, it is possible that this order could impact a number of games and companies that Tencent either owns or holds stakes in, potentially including fully owned subsidiary Riot Games or companies that own stakes of varying sizes in, such as Epic Games, which I think is at 40%, Activision Blizzard, which is undisclosed, and at 5% of Ubisoft. So, yeah, interesting. Tinfoil hat time. There were rumors. I don't know if you saw it. This is before this article came out. This was when the first comment was made about banning TikTok.
Yeah.
And not even saying, we're going to ban TikTok, not talking about ByteDance, but specifically TikTok. and there was a rumor, I don't remember what site had it, that Microsoft was looking at potentially buying TikTok, and ByteDance would walk away completely. Microsoft would absorb all of it and make it US owned. And I was like, if Microsoft does that, well, who gives a shit if Game Pass doesn't make money?
So that's going by all the news outlets I've heard talking about it. That's like a thing. Like, so today I heard on NPR,
of course,
that
as
Microsoft is in acquisition talks to buy TikTok. And they also did a brief rundown of what WeChat is. It's kind of interesting
because India banned WeChat in its latest round of 40 or 60 some odd apps that they kicked out of their country.
Which I kind of get it because of, I mean, how China is and how ingrained WeChat is in China. It's almost like an ecosystem in itself. So like, it is a chat app, obviously, but you can also like buy things inside it.
Yeah, apparently
you can transfer money. You can like, it's like a whole, like it can do multiple.
Yeah, apparently, because in reading some comments on it, there's something called like WeChat Pay, which I assume is, imagine PayPal having a texting system and then also existing as the money transfer.
Yep.
So that I guess the theory then would be potentially you could still use WeChat. You just can't use WeChat Pay.
Yeah. You can use...
Or maybe they just kick the whole thing out. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming they just do the whole thing just because like, it's all ingrained.
It would be the easiest part for them to just say no to the whole thing.
Yeah, like you can buy plane tickets inside the app. Like all this other...
It's like... That's a lot.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy.
That's a one-stop marketplace.
Basically.
I'm going to buy my cocaine and then a plane ticket.
Yeah, I guess...
whatever else I can get over here.
It's like the... most popular, like Japan is something similar, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's like it's not so much the market side of it, but like the chat system where it's like kind of the universal communication app.
Okay. I mean, WhatsApp is used by a lot of the rest of the world. Europe uses it a ton, which I always found interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody that uses WhatsApp here.
I don't either.
I use WhatsApp to talk to like a couple people, but even then, I don't use it that much.
Who owns WhatsApp? Isn't it like
Facebook?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, there's really no benefit to using it that I can imagine.
No, I mean the benefit before was that it was encrypted and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then you have to remember that it's Facebook, and once Facebook bought WhatsApp, you're like, well, there's your back door. Who gives a shit anymore?
Yeah.
Same reason I don't have Instagram. Facebook. One because I don't take pictures. 2, Facebook owns it. Well, sorry. The reason this podcast doesn't have one. But, as I alluded to at the top of the show...
No one wants to see our faces anyways.
Well, that's 100% true. There's a reason we don't do video podcasts either. We're going to use the we're ugly excuse, not we're lazy.
It's both,
okay.
Really. I mean, really it's both. But
well, I know it's both, but we're going to acknowledge one, not the other.
Okay. Yeah, I got hit in the face with like a tire when I was a small child or something.
I beat him with a shovel every time he shows up, just to make sure. Just to make sure we don't ever reach the threshold where we are semi-attractive.
Basically. We have a glass container over here that we smash, and it's got a bottle of acid in it if we really need to get crazy. Throw it on our faces.
We record in a room full of mirrors just to remember how ugly we do look.
Exactly.
So, as I alluded to at the top of the show, it's kind of not scary, but some people don't realize how much Tencent has or is a part of or has influence over in some way. So, other than the ones I've already mentioned, such as, Riot, Epic, Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, here's some other shit.
Fucking huge on their own.
Yeah, which are massive. I mean, Riot, they're 100% owned, and that's League of Legends, and Valorant. Activision Blizzard, well, there's Hearthstone, WoW, Diablo, blah, 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 blah. Call of Duty,
yeah.
Epic, well, there's Fortnite, and the Epic Game Store. And Ubisoft, it's only 5%, but
it's enough.
Still. It's enough to make me put you on the list. Here's some other shit that Tencent has taken. Snapchat, Spotify, Universal Music, Warner Music. So 3 giant music labels. and the biggest competitor to Instagram.
Yeah.
Probably. Like, not counting, I guess, TikTok. But, spoiler alert,
Mm-hmm.
ByteDance is the competitor to Tencent, so that's why they don't own it. Tinfoil hat theory from Matt. So go ahead, put those back on your head. Riot is taking a week off starting August 10th, announced 2 days prior to this breaking.
Yeah. My tinfoil hat kind of was ruined by the last part of this story, but
Yes.
we'll get there.
It was a little bit. But Riot, who knows? Maybe they're having more internal problems.
Yeah, they have
Because
a
they also,
fucking laundry list of issues.
Riot also made some weird deal with some, I don't even remember now, Middle Eastern country about a League of Legends like pro team, but the country like is horribly against LGBTQ plus and all that, and people are like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then they retracted the offer and canceled the whole thing or whatever. But it was like,
they're like, "Fuck, we're caught."
What the fuck? Here's another one. They own They have stake in Supercell. Supercell is the developer behind Clash of Clans, Boom Beach, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars. Open any app store. They're usually in the top 10. Almost all of them. And if not, top 20. Bluehole. They have a stake in that, and that has PUBG. Reddit. Kind of massive.
Reddit, that one.
The best part is when people went on Reddit to complain about Tencent in the like Hearthstone stuff, like when we were up in arms with, and still are, because it's bullshit. But the amount of stuff for the free Hong Kong, and then people are like on Reddit going like, "Man, can you believe this?" Like, you do realize that you're on a Tencent subsidiary complaining about and then doing the whole like, "Well, speak with your wallet and don't go there," and it's like, wait, but you're on here complaining about.
Yep. Then they get deleted.
And Discord. Stake in that, which we use. And then Huya, which is basically, I have it as like Chinese Twitch.
There's a story about these two.
Yes, there is, which I also wrote in.
Oh.
Haha.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, you got me for once.
I got you.
Fuck.
I win. So it is, Huya focuses more on gaming and official esports broadcasts. Doesn't have the same, like just chatting and music and the other stuff that Twitch now has. But it is pretty large. And then there's Douyu.
Yeah,
apparently also a streaming service that Tencent was going to merge with Huya. So they were going to take Douyu and Huya and merge them into one
Huda.
So they were going to merge them into one entity under their umbrella, so they weren't two separate entities. And the idea of making them one single entity would value them at $10 billion with more than 300 million users.
Holy fuck.
And that, I don't mean value Tencent. I mean value that single entity at over $10 billion.
Sometimes I just like... Sometimes I get hit with these numbers, and it makes me realize how big of a market like China and like that area is. Because I'm sure it's other markets like India and stuff as well probably crossover.
Yeah. I mean, all of like Southeast Asia, India, like that whole Korea is probably, it's the how big that is to be over $10 billion in value and 300 million users when I haven't heard of either of these, because the arguably for a long time, and probably still is, but I'm not positive because I don't follow the scene as much, the biggest League of Legends player in terms of skill, Faker, was streaming. I think they had exclusive deals. Korea might have had exclusive things with Azubu or Asbu, whatever, another streaming service, and couldn't come to Twitch. But now he does stream on Twitch because Twitch is not as prevalent over there. And well, a combined 10 billion and 300 million users explains why. And I when I looked up that story, I was like, holy shit, that's massive.
Yeah, it's insane.
Then they have stake in Grinding Gear Games, which is responsible for Path of Exile. Then they have stake in Frontier Developments, which is responsible for Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution, which is that Jurassic World like tycoon sim. Then Planet Coaster, Elite Dangerous, Connectimals, because that's the important one I chose to throw in. Zoo Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. The site only mentioned 3. I don't know about 1 and 2. But that's a lot of games. Planet Zoo's still going. Planet Coaster was liked when it came out. Don't know about that anymore. Elite Dangerous is still constantly going with updates. Interest in Paradox Interactive, which has Crusader Kings, who Paradox is a dev for. The entire gamut of, I don't know, there's like 7 of them. Empire of Sin, which is a game I'm looking forward to, but they're the publisher, not the dev. Paradox, that is. Empire of Sin is that gangster
that was the
game that we saw during the PC gaming showcase.
Yeah, I think so.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 as a publisher, which, yep.
Yeah.
Surviving Mars as a publisher. Stellaris, Paradox was a dev for. City Skylines as a publisher. And Pillars of Eternity as a publisher. And that was just me scraping the surface. There were like 6 others out of the last 3 years I could have pulled that are titles I recognized. But I figured these are just the biggest ones to call out. The interest in Funcom, which has the Conan series, including Exiles and all those ones. And then Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, which was that XCOM-esque with the pig and the duck. And I don't remember if you know what that one is. We talked about it in PAX Extravaganza that I've come back with. But
that one I don't remember.
I don't blame you. Then they have interest in Shark Mob, which is a studio formed by former Ubisoft Massive and IO Interactive devs. IO Interactive responsible for Hitman series. Ubisoft Massive was and is the studio behind The Division. So there's just another studio they have. They're Shark Mob's in Sweden. Then Fat Shark. Shark Mob, Fat Shark, you know. Gotta do what you gotta do. Shark themes. Fat Shark responsible for Warhammer Vermintide 1 and 2 and the new Warhammer 40k Darktide game. Cacao, which is responsible for Black Desert Online.
That's popular.
Yeah, kind of. So that's just like a quick list of a lot of gigantic things. That
doesn't even include like the movie stuff either.
Oh yeah, this is just gaming semi-nerd related or tangentially included. This wasn't the let's go grab all of the Tencent properties and spend 20 more minutes going through them.
Yeah.
That was long enough. And not to ruin all the speculation, but this tweet showed up from Sam Dean, an LA Times tech reporter. Quote, video game companies owned by Tencent will not be affected by this executive order. White House official confirmed to the LA Times that the executive order only blocks transactions related to WeChat, end quote.
For now,
it seems that...
We'll see what China does.
It seems like gamers are safe.
Yeah.
I don't even like that I said that. I feel dirty. It's because I am. But it's just, it doesn't, you know... But
you want to hear another good one? Another good executive order? Announced at a Whirlpool factory.
We're removing jets from whirlpools.
No. Whirlpool as in like, laundry. And ovens and the brand Whirlpool.
Don't they make hot tubs?
Probably. I don't know.
That's the jet joke I was making.
Okay. Well, here's the funny thing. President announced a tariff on Canadian aluminum at the Whirlpool plant.
Where there's probably a bunch of Canadian aluminum.
Which, yeah, they use Canadian aluminum for manufacturing.
You are no longer allowed to use this aluminum. They're like, it's aluminium, sir. And he's like, fair enough, never mind.
Fun stuff.
That's the only joke I'm going to have of the different pronunciations between Canada, Europe, and the U.S. about aluminum and aluminium. Fun, Matt.
All right, well, that's the news.
That is the news. So let me tell you about some deals.
Deals.
You want to give your money to Tencent? Well, here's a way to do it.
All right.
I need you to click all 3 of those links while I read some other things. I'm going to hope the first one's different from last time. It should have switched over today, but I'm not positive. So let's move on. I'm going to start with some other things. If you have PlayStation Plus, the 2 games you are going to get for free this month are the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered and Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Fall Guys going with the Rocket League approach, where it is free to PlayStation Plus subscribers for a month. So make sure you go claim that and enjoy. Make sure when you go to jump and grab the crown, make sure you grab it. Just jumping through it doesn't mean you get it. Xbox Games with Gold for the month. Portal Knights is available from August 1st to the 31st on Xbox One. Override Mech City Brawl is available from August 16th to September 15th on Xbox One. MX Unleashed is available from August 1st to the 15th on Xbox One and 360. And Red Faction 2 is available on August 16th to the 31st on Xbox One and 360. Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, then you also have Twitch Prime, which means you can get these games for free right now. Treachery in Beatdown City, Blazing Chrome, Chroma Squad, Warsaw, Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, and Barack Fu. And then Matt has some fun, humble things to tell you. Can you show me the monthly page real quick? That is different than the last time we saw it. Why are there? They actually showed all of them.
They're showing all 12. That's what I was going to ask. They normally show all 12?
No, normally we only have a preview of a couple.
All right, well, they're showing all 12.
Ooh, you showing your goods, humble?
Ends September 4th.
Yep, sounds right.
Wargroove. Vampire. Or Vampire.
Vampire, yes, the Y. Vampyr.
Hello Neighbor.
Ooh.
Plus Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek.
Ooh, that's the, I believe, multiplayer one.
Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, you can go save a town full of fish people.
Little Big Workshop.
Don't know that one.
Genesis Alpha 1.
As opposed to Omega Phase Beta 3.
Atama Chef.
Oh, hey. I'm going to get a tweet about that one.
Through the Dark
Crystal.
Sorry, I'm trying to read
Portal.
like really small print here.
Portal, Crystal.
Through the Darkest of Times.
Oh, I wasn't even close.
American Fugitive State of Emergency.
Is that based off the movie?
It kind of looks like it. The Coma 2. Vicious Sisters. We Were Here Together.
No, we weren't.
And A Case of Distrust.
Spooky. Interesting titles. $12 to start that, I think, or less. I might be wrong. Might be 10 now. But Call of Cthulhu, Hello Neighbor, some solid titles there.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Not positive on Vampire.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember when we saw it at PAX and stuff like that, and I've seen it on Steam constantly and stuff like that, but I haven't dabbled in to see the reviews. Which one are you looking at? The third one, or the second one?
Double Fine.
Second one.
Double Fine, 20th anniversary.
Double Fine has Psychonauts 2 coming out. Psychonauts 2.
So,
2.
You can pay $1 or more, and you will get Psychonauts.
Boom. You can $1, and you can already play the prequel to the new game.
Yep. Double Fine Adventure, the complete series, Deluxe Edition. Amnesia Fortnite 2012. Amnesia Fortnite 2014. Amnesia Fortnite 2017. No idea what these are, by the way.
I know what Amnesia
look like VR
was.
titles, actually.
I know what Amnesia was because it was a horror game, but the Fortnite part I don't know. So maybe that's
it. It looks like kind of kiddie, but also
never
might
mind.
be a horror game.
All right, well, I have no
one of
idea.
them looks like it supports VR.
But hey, it's $1.
You can pay more than the average, which is $8.78 right now, and you'll also get Day of the Tentacle Remastered, Broken Age, Brutal Legend.
Get yourself some Jack Black.
Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin. So some alliteration right there. Massive Chalice. Costume Quest. Iron
Costume
Brigade.
Quest is a big love around Halloween time.
Stacking. Hack and Slash. And Space Base DF9. If you pay more than $9, you will also get...
Wait a second. You're telling me the average
Yes.
is 8 what?
$8.78.
But if I just pay 22 cents more,
You'll also get
I'm going to get everything so far? That's insane.
Rad.
I have played. I enjoyed it.
GNOG.
What he said.
140.
I mean, it sounds like they misspelled gong, but or nog with silent G, but
Thoth. No, Drew. Mountain.
creative.
Everything.
Also, really.
Scapegoat 2.
Now that's a game everybody should play because the sequel, Scapegoat Back from Hell, no one would have believed the twists and turns that happened to that. It was like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Gang Beasts.
Now, if I'm being serious about liking a game,
Yeah.
Gang Beasts was a lot of fun. Good old ragdoll physics. Press
Yeah.
B to slam your head into somebody.
Kids.
You can buy kids.
Full Throttle Remastered. Headlander. And Grim Fandango Remastered.
Oh, hey, yeah. Some Grim Fandango. And this last one is just in here for you. It's my special treat to you in terms of I don't think anybody listening gives a shit.
Wow.
But I just wanted you to see it.
There's a lot of nerd crossover with this shit, okay?
There's not a lot of people listening to the podcast, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm buying this. That's good shit.
And that's why I put it in
This
here.
is good shit. We got some Star Trek Adventures. I'm not going to go through all these.
You don't have to go through all of it. If you just see something that highlights it for you, then go for it. But
yeah, it's all just RPG.
it's a lot of
role-playing.
Star Trek novellas and I think RPG guides or books or like D&D modules maybe.
Yeah, it's all just D&D stuff basically. Which if you are into D&D, maybe for $15 if you get all of this, it's kind of crazy.
There's a lot of books in there.
There is a metric dick ton.
And I was just like, oh, it says Star Trek. And then I started scrolling and I was like, I don't know what any of this is. Metal, no. And by no, I mean and be interested to actually look at what it is. I was just like, Star Trek equals Matt. Nate, no like.
Star Trek Adventures. Which that's the D&D, their D&D shit.
Yeah, so you can become a red shirt and die in the first episode of your own D&D campaign.
Exactly.
Have to roll a new character right away. All right, Matt, so you're on the bridge. Roll a D20 for me. I just want to see what happens.
Oh, you got a 1? All right, your skin melts off and you die.
That's a 1. Vulcan just killed you. What do you want to do? Do you want to reload a character or should we stop playing? I'll roll another one. I'll just, give it up again. Oh, you're going to choose a yellow shirt this time. Smart. All right, roll another D20. 2. Perfect. The Vulcan misses your head.
Oh, your yellow shirt too? Oh, warp core failure, ship blows up, you're dead.
Yeah, there's 20 different options depending on what color shirt you're wearing, how you die. And no matter what you roll, as long as you hit that number, it's over. Hey, man, D&D. That's a thing. Anyway, it has been a week since we have done this, Matt. That brings us to the end of this podcast, which means it's time for me to ask you, what have you been up to?
Well, it's a good thing podcast is long because I've been up to literally nothing. All right, no games.
Matt's back to his normal bullshit.
Yep, no games. I've been trying to get through. I watched all of Phase 1, Marvel. I was like, fuck it, I'll start Phase 2. First movie in Phase 2, Thor,
Dark World.
The Dark World. Trying to get through it. It's a rough movie to get through. And I'm just trying to get through it, but the Disney Plus app is like, hey, why don't you fuck off, buddy? I'm going to break on you every 2 seconds.
Ooh.
So,
like I thought, we talked about this before we recorded last week, and I was like, Dark World, man, sucks.
Yep. That's it. Haven't read anything. I've just been watching. Like, I've been working a lot this week because the way my schedule works now is like 1 week I work a fuck ton. The next week I work very, very little. And then next week I work a fuck ton. And it just rotates like that. So this is my fuck ton week. And so, like, I get home from work.
Like the idea of like walking into your house and seeing the calendar on the wall, and you
It's
just
like,
in
shit.
big letters, just fuck ton week.
Yeah.
Every other week, just wrote it in really like thick Sharpie out of anger.
Basically. So I've just been getting home and then watching, The Next Generation with the wife, and then going to bed. That's basically been my life. So
I mean, hey, it works.
that's it. That's my life. I'm sure yours has been more relatable to this podcast.
Yes.
Nailed it.
And that's been the podcast. No, it's been, the usual, just kind of bouncing around, doing some stuff. Big 2 games of the week, though. Football Manager 2020. Been on the grind. Going for a lot. Just pushing to the end of our second season. This will be officially the furthest we have made it in a save ever.
Which is crazy. You play this game so fucking much, and you guys are always just like, I gotta restart the save, or save gets corrupted,
we make it. Well, the
something
save
breaks, or someone gets fired, or like.
Okay, so the save got corrupted once. I got fired once. But what normally happens is the game comes out in like November, either October, November, and we start playing then, and we turn off the transfer window when we first start so that way we're playing with the rosters that exist in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when January hits in real life is when the transfer window opens in real life. So then new rosters might happen. And then we get to the end of January and go, we kind of want to play with the new rosters.
Start it up.
I'll start it over again. And then we usually can't get through two full seasons or more by the time the next game comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just, we're suckers and we go by and we just keep going.
Yeah.
But, it's...
Listen, I think it's a fair trade. You give them, what is it, $60?
I usually get it cheaper than that, but yeah.
All right, so you give them $60 and you play the game for like a long fucking time. Like, I'm assuming it's hundreds of hours or over 100 hours, but, what do I know?
2017, my first one, 50 hours.
Okay, 50 hours.
18, 257 hours.
Okay, that's a big jump.
Now, what happened there was 17 we bought in June, I think. Because we had been looking for, we were like, I don't know, what do we want to play?
You didn't know the gist of the Football Manager.
No, we constantly saw it on Steam, and then in June hit its giant sale where it dropped to like $20, and Kenny bought it. And he's like, I've always seen it, and we never knew how good is it or anything. And then he's like, I've been playing for like a week. Apparently we can do online saves. Let's go. And then 50 hours that summer, and then we butted right up to the new release. And then it just, so there's 257 hours in Football Manager 18. 19 takes 188. 20 is at 232.
232.
Yeah.
All right. There it is. Ridiculous.
So I'm about a month maybe off of hitting the 2018 peak of how much we played.
It'll happen.
Oh, I fully expect it to happen. It's been a lot of fun.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I haven't been fired again. Him and I are tied, fighting for the title. We're right there. It's been a good time. It's been enjoyable. Not getting fired is a good key, a good first step to have as a baseline goal.
Also having a second season.
Yeah, well, the second season is always good, but it's the one thing I'm hoping they fix more next year is the firing. Not for my own sake, but even the AI.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a team finish fourth, which completely would make sense in real life, and you'll see six managers get fired in the offseason. You're like, we don't cycle managers once a year in this sport. It's not that common where it's constantly happening.
Yeah.
But the game does a lot of weird things like that. Or the clubs that are rich with money will buy a lot of talent and then just not play it. They'll just hoard talent. And it's like, what? No, that wouldn't happen in real life either. Those players would be pissed if they weren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's just some weird things like that. But, it's what it is. Then, when the players get pissed in the game, sometimes Kenny and I get them for cheap, and it's a good time. But, that, and then Ghost of Tsushima. I have finally unlocked Ghost Stance. I now decapitate bosses as I see fit.
It's a good move.
The one thing I don't like about Ghost Mode is
I feel like it's too short.
Short, sure. That doesn't bother me as much because I only pop it to clear it. Like if I got surrounded by a bunch of people, I just pop it to clear out real quick, however many I can hit.
Pro tip: go into duels with Ghost Stance ready.
Oh, in the
any duels.
Oh, just anytime you have to duel.
Hey, you gotta duel someone.
I mean, that makes sense.
Go to Ghost Stance ready. Just
yeah, because I assume you go into Ghost Stance in a duel and you just one tap them and you're done with it.
You don't necessarily one tap them, but you can
3 tap.
You can get the majority of their health gone really quick.
That's a good show. I didn't even think about that. The other part of it is it feels like you walk as slow as when you're in listening mode, which I think is weird.
Mm-hmm.
For the idea that you're in ghost mode and the enemies terrify, which means they start backing up from you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're in the mode where you're supposed to be slaughtering, and they're backing up, but you're not at a closing speed.
That's my too short thing. You either need to move faster, and then
I don't need to sprint. I just need to move as fast as I normally would holding forward in the game.
Yeah. The other thing that irritates me is you two swipe every person, and
I've only one swiped.
Really, because when I did it, I would hit the button once, and he would always hit once and then hit the person again.
Oh, I think maybe he's two swiped and I haven't noticed it, but I'm pretty sure I've just one turn, one turn, one turn, like you were doing in a standoff.
Yeah, mine's always 2 swipes on every person, and you end up killing 3 people.
I've killed more than 3 people, so
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not doing it. Maybe I wasn't doing it right. I don't know.
When I popped it. When I came out of that tower that I sent you where I had a murder tower, I probably piled 15 bodies into a tower. Don't come up ladders to a samurai. What are you just wasting my time? Idiots. Stupid AI. Who walks up a ladder at a samurai with a sword? I love game AI when you can just people want to rat on Mafia 3 for the same problem, where you just stand on a corner cover and everybody just runs around the corner. You hit them with a shotgun, and then you just the AI keep running at you, but they don't see the body of all their dead friends that they would have to climb over to get through the door to begin with. And I'm just like, and another one. Same thing just happened in Ghost, where I was just like, I'm going to pile bodies in this tower. But I came down and the rest of the place converged that I somehow hadn't alerted yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I popped it, and I'm pretty sure I killed 4 to 5, and then it disappeared. I don't know if it's a timer thing or if it's an actual body count thing.
I don't know.
Because maybe it is only 3, and I'm not paying attention. And 3 is your body count because you can one hit anything.
Yeah, that was what I kept trying to experiment with it.
And I guess when I say one hit, I mean you hit them and they die, whether it's 2 swipes or not. I've only had to press once and they die. I've never had to press twice.
That's what. For me, when experimenting with it, and I could have been doing something wrong, but what was happening was it is one button press kills 1 person.
Right.
But I only ever was able to kill 3 people in a stance, and then it would dissipate. And every time it killed someone, it was always 2 swipes, which was watching it was the most frustrating thing ever, because he would swipe once, the person would die, but he still would do the second swipe. And I'm like, oh, this animation's pissing me off because it's it seems wasteful to my eyes,
Yeah, the first time you use it, when you get granted it, and apparently Jin loses the idea of a samurai, which he lost 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
which is also just hysterical to me.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of goes in line with the idea of, because he still tries to keep to himself, at least the way it's written, and whatever the ending is, he tries to do the justification of like, I'm only going to do this for now until this invasion's over, and then I go back to being an honorable samurai and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but it sticks to the part of it that sticks with me is the idea that certain ways need to always adapt to overcome new things. Like the same tried and true methods that have gotten you so far will only get you so far.
Yeah.
But when he does that and he just straight up decapitates somebody, and then it's almost like hitting Spartan Rage in God of War, where it's just like, who cares? Murder everybody, and I'm killing every last one of them I can see. And he decapitates the head, and then you step forward, and he was just like, slice to that guy, slice to that guy. I think I killed it might have been 3, but it was all just one slices, and then I was off into the races, one hit murdering everybody out of the town.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll have to, when I do it again, I'll have to watch if it's 3 people and if it's 2 swipes, just for our own discussion.
Yeah.
But that,
for sure,
that has been the podcast. This has been the podcast for August 7th of Gamers 2. It was recorded live in front of a studio audience. Hint, studio is empty. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.